All right, let's graph one more of these quadratics, okay? I've got a new quadratic function here. We got negative 2x squared minus 12x minus 11. Now, because this quadratic starts with a negative, because it's a negative 2, it's going to curve down. It's going to be an upside down U. It's going to look like this instead of the U shape. It's going to be upside down U. And what you're going to learn this later, but basically what you got to understand is whenever a function starts off with a negative, anytime a function starts off with a negative, the right side of its, well, I mean, it's got to be polynomial. Any polynomial that starts off with a negative, the right side of the polynomial is going to point down. Okay, that's an important thing to know for the next, maybe in a couple weeks. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to pause the video and I want you to identify the axis of symmetry, the vertex, the Y-intercept, and the X-intercepts. Okay? Go. All right, so let's see how you did. So the axis of symmetry, we know that that's at x equals negative b over 2a, right? And in this case, b is negative 12, so that's negative 12 over 2a over 2, and a is negative 2. So we got negative 2, and so negative 12, well, that's positive 12, all right? Divided by 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. And 12 divided by negative 4 is going to be negative 3. So we've got a axis of symmetry at negative 3. I'm going to go ahead and draw that in right now. So if I go to negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, I've got an axis of symmetry right there. And you should be doing this on graph paper at home. Okay, you should be doing this on graph paper. Now, we need the vertex. Well, we already know that the vertex is an xy coordinate, right? Where the x coordinate is the axis of symmetry. So the vertex is going to be at negative 3, comma, right? And now we're going to plug the negative 3 into the original function. So y is equal to negative 2 times negative 3 squared minus 12 times negative 3 minus 11. So negative 3 squared, that's 9. And 9 times negative 2, that's negative 18. And then we've got negative 12 times negative 3, well, that's positive 36. So we'll go plus 36 and then minus 11. And negative 18 plus 36, that's 18. Wait, did I say negative 18? Negative 18 plus 36, that's 18. And 18 minus 11 is equal to 7. Okay? 18 minus 11 equal to 7. So now our vertex is at negative 3 and 7. So let's go ahead and plot that. Grab a marker here. We're going to go to negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so we're going to put our vertex right there. So now it's going to turn down from there. Okay? Now we need our y-intercept, which is the easiest one to find. It's at the point 0 and whatever c is, right? In this case, c is negative 11. So we're going to be at 0 and negative 11. Now I kind of have a problem here because my graph only goes down to negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10. Negative 11 is like kind of right there, or excuse me, right down here. So I'm just going to kind of use the edge of here, and I'm going to pretend that that's negative 11. So that's going to be my y-intercept. Now remember, I need to go over from here, from the y-intercept, I need to go over to the axis of symmetry. How many is that? That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And now I got to count 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and so that means that there is going to be a point right there as well. So you can sort of start to see the shape of the graph. It's going to go through here. Remember, it's going to be flat up here, right? And it's going to come down, and then it's going to go through that point, and then it's going to come down on this side, and it's going to go through that point. Okay? All right, the last thing we need here are the X-intercepts. The X-intercepts, let's see here. Can we factor? Let's go ahead and do the quadratic formula just because I want you to get really good at it. So we'll have negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So x, in this case, is going to be equal to negative b. b is negative 12, so that's negative 12, plus or minus the square root of b squared, that's negative 12 squared, minus 4 times a is negative 2, and times c, and in this case c is negative 11, all over 2 times a, and a is negative 2. So now, x is equal to negative 12. That's 12, plus or minus the square root of. Negative 12 squared, that's 144. All right, minus, here we got 4 times negative 2 times negative 11. Well, negative 2 times negative 11 is positive 22. And positive 22 times 4 is 88. So it's minus 88. Okay? Now, 144 minus 88, forgive me, it's late in the afternoon. That's why we have calculators for teachers who are in a hurry, is 56. Okay? So this is going to be 56. So that means this is the square root of 56 all over 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Okay? Now, in order to find out what these, in order to plot these, I need to know as close as I can what these actual numbers are. So I know that one of the numbers is x equals 12 plus the square root of 56 over negative 4. And it can be reduced. I know I can reduce that. And I can reduce this over here. Actually, can that? Yeah, that can be reduced. And then x equals 12 minus the square root of 56 over negative 4. And although these are precise numbers, they are not useful, not too terribly useful, for graphing. If I want to graph, I'm probably going to need to use a calculator and turn these into decimal numbers so I can see where they are approximately. So I'm going to key in 12 plus the square root of 56. Square root of 56. Now, I'm not going to divide by negative 4 yet, because a lot of times students will mess this up. Here's what they'll do. They will type in 12 plus the square root of 56, and then they'll hit divided by negative 4, and it's only going to divide the square root of 56 by negative 4. I would have to put parentheses around this whole thing first, and then I can divide by negative 4. Personally, the way I prefer to do it is I prefer to press enter first, take that answer, 19.48331477, and divide that number by negative 4. And I get approximately negative 4.87. Approximately equal to negative 4.87. And then I'll try this one. Now remember, we're straddling negative 3. So this is on the left side of negative 3 by 1.87. So chances are it's negative 3 plus 1.87. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the same thing. I got 12 minus the square root of 56. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to divide by negative 4, and I get approximately negative 1.13. Okay? So these are my x. Well, the x-intercept is actually negative 4.83 comma 0 is one of my points. And the other one is negative 1.13 comma 0, right? And let me go ahead and plot those on here. One of them, let's see, well, let's just do it in, I'll do it in orange, I guess. We got negative 4.83 is probably about right there. Negative 1.13 is probably, negative 1.13 is probably right about there. And the last thing I have to do is draw my curve. I'm going to make this flat. Remember, it's not a V, it's a U, right? So it's got to be kind of flat with a curve. Okay, so I'm going to make a little curve up there. And then here, it's going to come down through this point. And then down here, it's going to hit the y-axis. And then here, it's going to come down. It's going to go through this point. and then come down here and hit, well, that's not perfect. There we go. That's close enough. So that's a very, very rough sketch of the parabola for negative 2x squared minus 12x minus 11. That's all I have for you. You're going to need a lot of practice for this, folks. Okay, you're going to do all of the practice that I give you. Don't slack off if you want to know what's going on. And there's going to be a quiz. I have a quiz loaded under day 2 for this week. It's a link. You're going to do it online, and it's going to be all about this stuff. Okay? All right. Well, enjoy, and I hope you learned a bit.